Canadian. So make a Canadian friend. By the way, they came down here to get warm, the Canadians. Anyway, let's go to our friend Michelle Bernard. I called her Michelle Obama the other day because I'm into Obama land here. Michelle, are you there?
I am.
Are you in a warm place? I think you're inside somewhere.
I am inside, and it is fairly warm. It's not as frigid as it is outside. So I'm over at the bureau in the studio trying to stay warm and trying to stay calm, Chris. I don't think there are any words to describe how I have been feeling this morning.
Well, do it. Try.
I will do my absolute best. You know, I got up this morning, I was watching the Today Show, and Ann Curry was speaking with a young woman, African-American woman. I don't know if you saw it, but this young lady had pictures of all of her ancestors taped to her body. And she was very emotional, just trying to describe what her parents and her grandparents went with and went through, and the joy that she felt that although all of the members of her family were deceased, that she was able to witness what we're going to witness at 12 o'clock today on their behalf. And it just made me think of the images that we've seen throughout history of the transatlantic slave trade, and I keep thinking about all of those slaves that made that voyage in the bottom of those slave ships, and I wonder if their spirits are here today saying to Barack Obama, you know, we paved the way for you, and now a nation that started off imperfect has finally perfected itself. You know, I was leaving the house to come over to the bureau, and I said to my 5-year-old son, you are going to be a great man. And he wanted to go play with his drums, but as I was leaving, he did say to me, Barack on, Mommy, Barack on. And it's been a very, very emotional day.
You know, Michelle, I keep thinking of the prominence of African Americans, obviously in this ceremony and in this crowd, and I keep thinking of the Langston Hughes poem, the I Too Sang America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, and it goes on to say, you know, eventually they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America, and there's that feeling of inclusion finally that one gets from the day that I think makes a lot of people emotional, including me.
You absolutely.
There was another line from Langston Hughes. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want to quote. Michelle,
yes.
Go ahead. Your thoughts.
No, I was just going to say, in addition to what Gene was saying, I keep thinking of men of my father's generation. Everybody knows my parents are immigrants. They're U.S. citizens now, but they came here from Jamaica. And I remember my dad telling me stories about being a waiter and a busboy in the summers while he was in college. And he kept getting fired because back in those days in Washington, you were told that you had to enter your workplace through the back door. And he just refused to do it. And he tells these fascinating stories about staging sit-ins and getting his friends to refuse to show up at work at these big and very prestigious country clubs in the Washington metropolitan area unless they would allow their black workers to enter the workplace through the front door. And these are the people the stories that I grew up with, and all of these men, like my father, are my heroes. And I can't even imagine the emotions that they feel today because they fought so hard for young men like Barack Obama to ascend to the presidency of the United States. It's truly, absolutely amazing.
Michelle, one thing I wanted to mention, and then I had a question for you. We saw it, I guess, about 3-4 minutes ago now, is a shot of the stricken South Dakota Senator Tim Johnson being seated at the Capitol for the event today. I just, in case anybody saw that, thought that's what that was. Indeed, it was. And there is another senator of note who is going to make it today. There he is, the Lion of the Senate, Ted Kennedy, with a big smile on his face, making his way out onto the platform to be seated on this cold morning, an hour and 20 minutes in advance. So to answer the question we were asking before, would Senator Kennedy be here? You're damn right he would be here.
Yeah, and he's got a Don Corleone hat on, too, which I have to... What a hell of a hat. That's
walking without any help, it's very nice to see. Walking unaided, looks well.
And he has that smile and that jut of the jaw.
Could he bring back the hat? You know, Jack Kennedy, I think, got rid of the hat.
Abramoff got the hat back
in 1960. Jack Kennedy...